Hello and welcome to another Dungeons and Dragons painting tutorial. Today we are going to be working on these guys right here. That is a rat swarm. This is going to be super duper simple. You really only need a few colors and it can change obviously depending on what you want to do. I personally like a gray color scale with my rats, just because that's how I like them. So for the fur, we're going to do Skaven Blight Dinge as the base, Dawnstone as their highlight, and then we're going to do one more highlight for them, which will be a 50-50 Dawnstone and Ceramite White. That might change a tiny bit, we will see. To get them little beady red eyes, I'm going to use Blood for the Blood God. It's a high gloss. Just, paint for little red beady eyes. I'm going to use Rycon Fresh Shade on the fur, but I might change that to, I think I meant to grab Seraphim Sepia instead, if I can find it. Sorry, I meant to be Seraphim Sepia. This is a sepia color wash, and it's more of a yellowy brown. So I'm hoping that'll help even out a little bit of that gray to kind of give it a little bit more variety in their fur. And then their little claws, if I can find any of them, and their tails will be Pink Horror for the base, Emperor's Children for that highlight, and then we'll tone that down with Carberg Crimson. So anyways guys, don't forget on these models out of the box sets for D&D to prime them first. I just went ahead and used the camo paint that Walmart sells. It is a camo paint by Rust-Oleum, and it comes out really matte and flat, and it dries really well, and it doesn't fill in the spaces and stuff like that. At least that's what I think. So anyways guys, we'll get started and we'll see you at the end. Nice. Alright, here is the Skaven Blight Dinge. It's just a 1-to-1, and you just give them a good solid gray base coat. Sorry, I didn't realize my hand was in the way at first. And then I went back and did a second coat that was a little bit more watered down to get down in the cracks and crevices, because I wasn't getting a full coverage. Alright, and next is the infamous dry brush. We're just going to do that on the tops of the rats. We're just going to use Dawnstone here, just straight up out of the pot. Brush it out a little bit on your pad or on a paper towel, and just give it a quick brushing over the top. Brighten them up just a little bit. I honestly kind of wish I would have just stopped here. I actually go ahead and end up doing another dry brush highlight on these guys and ended up brightening them up too much. I honestly probably just would have left him here to make him a little bit more menacing and dark, dirty rats. So you can stop here, or you can go on to the final highlight if you like it, what you see. Here's that second highlight. It's ceramite white and the dawnstone. Mixed it up and made it a little bit too white. Like I said, I probably would have stopped at the last step had I known it would have taken it up so much. But, you know, oh well, no big deal. Okay, and next we're doing the shading for these guys for their fur. This is just the Seraphim Sepia. It's a yellowy color. Like I said, I was concerned I was going to take it too dark, so I went ahead for brighter shades. And literally all you do is just brush this all over the model. Sorry, I didn't see that my hand was out of the shot. And I didn't like how it came out. It was a little too yellowy bright. So I went ahead and brought in some Null Oil, which is a black wash, and I did the same thing. You literally just get it all over the model, all down in the cracks and crevices. Don't let it pool anywhere, but yeah, it'll do its job. Alright, up next is the Blood for the Blood God, which is a high gloss red, and I literally just took the smallest brush that I had and went through and just dotted every single little eye. Don't be afraid to be a little, not aggressive with this, because the model is so small. So whenever you're standing, sitting away from it 2 to 5 feet or whatever, if it's in the middle of your table when in your party's facing down these rats or whatever, so don't be afraid to be a little bit aggressive and cover maybe the whole eye socket, because otherwise you're not going to see that detail. So yeah, and I just went ahead and popped every little eyeball that I could see. The detail is rather small in these guys, so I had to try and break out the magnifying glass. That's what I was doing here. And that did not work, as you can see. It was a complete fail. But I just kind of went through and did the best I could to identify eyes, eye sockets, those types of things, even just on the sides of their head. I accidentally blobbed some on one of the rat's backs, so I'll just call it an injury and move on down the road. So anyways, we'll just move on from here. Alright, up next is that pink horror. It is a fleshy pink color that I wanted to do for the base coat for their tails. Thin down your paint for this. The tails are incredibly tiny, so feel free to stay small. And I literally just went through and outlined all the little tails that I could find on there. Alright, and up next I use Emperor's Children, which is a very bright pink. God bless, I did terrible at this today. So anyways, basically I just went back through and dry brushed all the tips of the tail, or all the just the tops of the tails, and tried to avoid all the little gaps. to leave that shadowy difference like there's ridges in the rat's tail. And now to make up for my failings, this is Cabral Crimson, and I literally just brushed it over the tops of all the tails. It basically will fill in all the little gaps on the tails and bring out the detail. And we're done. So I'm going to try and work on my filming angles so that you guys don't miss any of the little details and stuff that I'm painting on there. So this is the finished product. I had to play with the lighting to make it so you guys could see it, but I'm rather happy with how they came out. I might take a little bit of brown paint to differentiate between them and the base and just go around the edges right there where you can kind of see just the tips of the base. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Have a good one.